Okay, so we're getting back. Let's wait for your classmates so we can continue with the sentence. Yeah, but this word, Jen, it's super similar, right? Loving, living. In this context, what do you think it's the meaning behind the definition of the sentence?
Yeah, I got confused. It it says, or it reflects that the louder the music it gets,
Hmm.
the person doesn't like it and feel like they are stop listening or stop being in a place in
Right,
which the music is louder.
right. So living is I'm leaving. I'm leaving this place,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
I'm not longer liking it, right? I'm feeling like
Mhm.
discomfortness of staying here because the music is super loud. Louder, it's giving you a super extended comparison, right? Of the situation. It's louder. It's super loud. Awesome. And the last one, let's go with Nelson. Nelson, can you please help us read the last one?
Yeah, yeah. The less 80s pop music I heard, the better.
What do you think it's
I
behind it? Are you liking it 80 music or you're more like other type of
I
um
prefer I prefer 80 music.
you prefer 80 music?
Yeah, it's the best.
80 music has
Or
some
90. Yeah, could be 90.
yes, or it could be 90, right? They have this
Mhm.
music genre. I think it's techno, right?
Yeah,
Techno.
this is a rhythm, like I
This is the
was
rhythm of the night, right?
written at the night. Yeah.
Right. The same type. I love that type of music. All music
Mhm.
has something. Music
All
nowadays
music
don't have.
was the music. Yeah, letters.
It could be another expression, right? All music
Yeah,
was real music, so
real
we could
music. Yeah.
actually see that.
Uh,
Yeah, of course, it will depend on music's likes, right? Depending on if I'm
mhm,
liking it or not, depending on new types of um, preferences or new generations have.
mhm.
Okay, so it's time to do our own example. I want you guys to write one example of your own. This is double comparatives is super popular in English. It's super popular. You will see a lot of these sentences in English. The more I do this, the better. The fast, the sooner. The less, the better. The longer, the more complicated, right? So it's a comparison, and you have to do a comparison using these two elements right here, because you're using two comparatives, each precede by the in order to show how one quality or amount it's linked to another one. So this the, as you can see, is in every example of this one. The more, the more, the more, the louder, the less. Okay? So we're using
Mhm.
this in a comparison way. So I want you guys to create one and to please type it in the chat box. So create one sentence and type it in the chat box, please. So we can
So
discuss your example.
when I teacher one question,
Yeah.
I was watching the sentence in an example.
Yes.
The more you like the dance, the more you appreciate. You always we are going to put the like what, how can I say subject you I they.
Exactly. Or in this case, the more exciting, we don't have pronouns here. We have a subject only. The more excited the soundtrack is, the
But
better
then this.
the movie the same. So it is commonly to use one pronoun, but you can use a subject too, as in this example.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not needed or
So
obligated to use pronoun every single time. So you can use for subject to refer to the
mhm.
sentence.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's create yours. Please type in the chat your example. Create your example based on this ones. This example.
Mhm.
Create your own example. So we're going to be discussing the meaning you have for each example. So I'll give
Okay.
you 2 minutes so you can create your example in the chat box and send it in the chat box, please.
Okay.
Okay, I'm seeing the examples here now. Uh, the more I listen to English music, the better I understand the language. This is a very, very good example, right? Which skill are you practicing by doing that? Jen, which skill are you practicing more?
No, your skill. I'm
Yeah, skill.
practicing. Yeah, I'm practicing by listening,
Listening,
by reading,
listening and reading the lyrics.
and the lyrics too. Sometimes I'm not used to read the lyrics. Just listen the music,
The
and I
music.
think that, yeah, and I think that it's a mistake because a new word that I listen to in the music, I cannot remember it then because I'm not able to read it, and I being uh, realized that if I do that, it's better for me because I catch the new vocabulary uh, better than just by listening. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a very good. This is a very good way to earn vocabulary, right? Vocabulary by lyrics is the best way, right? Because you're learning something new, and you can try once. Try using the karaoke for the song you're liking it, and you will learn absolutely new words because you know how the word pronunciation sound.
yeah,
It's okay. It's absolutely okay to not know several words, right? It is okay because sometimes the music is, mixed with even French words sometimes, right? So it is okay. Or for example, when you hear um I'm not don't take me wrong, but for example, when you hear person from Afro-American ethnicity, sometimes it is very difficult to understand them because the way they speak English is totally different than the normal and traditional American one. So it is okay to not know some of the words. But this one is a great example of the grammar we're reviewing right now. Thank you, Jen. Next one, Fran, you're the second. The more I stay at home, the more I want to go out on weekend. I see
I,
zero. I see
I think
zero. Yeah.
I wanted to say the more I do home office, the more because when Friday
Yeah.
comes,
The
I want.
more I stay from um at home working or yeah, home office is good I was thinking another way to say it, but um, he has zero. I don't have any. How can I say this? Regression on what you're saying here, right? Because the levels of interest you have when you are all the time, the whole week at home, you need, and your anxiety levels goes up, so you need to go out and see the nature and what's happening outside of your house. You need to have
Yeah.
some stress outside your house. Awesome. I like it. Very good. Next one, Nelson, you're next. The more I hear reggaeton music, the less I like it. Right? It is good. It is good. I think that we have another example here. You can also use the I feel like buying it. The less I feel like buying it, but your example is really good. The less I liking it, you can also use liking it on this one to
I like
sound,
it. Mhm.
yeah, the less I'm liking it.
I'm
When you,
liking it. Okay.
yeah, notice that um it's like one feeling I'm having it right now, right? The less I liking it, or I'm buying it, and you don't need to have the verb to be, right? You just need to say the less I feel like loving it or liking it, for example. But the
Mm,
example is good, right?
okay.
Kirsty, I'm missing yours. If you can type your example in the chat, that will be awesome. Okay, let's do some pair conversation. Let's do some pair conversation right now, real quick. We're doing exercise B. I'm sorry. I'll give you 3 minutes so you can discuss the exercise B with your partner. I'll try to um, put it in the chat so you can have it in the chat handy. There you go. So you can have discussion in your breakout room. So we have here 5 examples. Let's do how many minutes? 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes is enough for this exercise. What do you think, Les? Less that, right? Super
And
easy.
the more time you give us.
If you finish, I'll give you the 5 minutes. Finish the
Okay.
sentence. Finish it. You can do it, Nelson. The
We'll
more
try.
time. The more the more
The
time.
more time you giving us, the better was the better. I don't know.
The better the result will be, for
The better the
example.
result will be. Mhm. Could be.
Right? That's another example of using it. Right? You convince me. I'll give you 5 minutes, so you can use 1 minute per sentence. Okay? While we come back. All right. So this is more focused on the pronunciation, practice, and speaking, and also so you can interact with your classmate.
Okay.
There you go. Search on your classroom, your breakout room, and we'll be here in 5 minutes. It was a lot of time, right, class? I think you had even time to do a podcast in English, right? I'm thinking that you're so advanced that you can do this exercise in 1 minute. I know. My class is super advanced now.
Thank you, bud. Thank you, bud.
Thank you, but I have my
Thank you,
doubts.
bud.
All right. So it says, let me check. Christy, can you please help us read the instruction of the exercise? Is the exercise B?
Sure. Match the clauses to make logical statements. Then compare answers with a partner. Which statements do you agree with?
Which statements do you agree with? Remember, when you're doing questions, we end up with the pronunciation up.
Okay.
Which statements do you agree with?
Which statements do you agree with?
Exactly. That's a right pronunciation when you're asking questions. Okay. So yeah, let's go. Well, the first one, it's already on the book, right? It says the more type of music you try to listen to. So which is the connector? Letter C. That says what? Nelson? The more.
The more likely you are to enjoy a wide variety of genres.
Okay. So when we are saying this word, class, we don't say de. No. This is how it sounds in Spanglish. We're gonna say the.
The. Okay.
Like the. Just like that.
Yeah.
The. Well, it's kind of a combination, class, of this one. Look. The more. Yeah, I'm going with the second option. The more, and you elaborate. So the more likely you are to enjoy a wide variety of genders. Nelson, do you know the meaning of wide on this context?
No,
What are we? Okay, so anyone who would like to share any idea of what is the meaning of wide in this context of the sentence?
More variety of genders.
Would you say, friend, it's talking about quantity?
Yeah, about quantity.
About amount, right? Wide it's like expanding, like diversity, right? Like you have several options, several things to accumulate. So that is wide, right? It's wide open. It has a lot. Means spacious, right? Means something. It's big. That is
more options.
You can have more options, exactly. Out of that, yeah. Yeah, that's a nice one. Okay, now let's go with the exercise job. Who wants to go first? Number two, who wants to go with this number two? Nelson, pick any of your classmates. Pick someone you secretly hate. Just kidding. just pick someone.
Christina was laughing. Okay, Christina, go ahead.
All right. Let's go with Christy. All right, Christy, you were with who? With Fran, right?
Yeah, no, with Nelson.
Okay, with Nelson. Okay, let's go with you on number two. Can you please help me read? It was what?
Okay. It was something confusing for us, but I'm going to try. So, the more often you go to dance clubs, I believe that is the letter the letter D. That is the greater, the greater your chance of suffering some hearing loss.
Hearing loss. Hearing loss.
Okay. I believe that is.
You guys agreed with Nelson, or Nelson had a different opinion than yours? But you agree, guys? You agreed?
No, because we are confusing in this and
okay.
the letter.
You got confused.
Yeah, but I believe for myself. But also it could be the letter A, that is the fewer new musicians will be developed.
Musicians. Exactly. We don't say developed, we say developed. Okay, developed. Like that. Look, developed.
Develop.
Let's see at the end. Let's
Develop.
let's compare with the Jen and Fran. Which one you guys picked on this one? The more often you go to dance club. I think, well, let me share what you think. Jen, Fran, what do you got on this one?
We got the same, that letter D.
That is correct, right? It's letter D.
Yeah.
The greater your chances of suffering, means painful. You're not liking it. It's painful, right? Painful, suffering some hearing loss. What is the meaning of loss in this?
The greater chances. I don't know what the meaning.
Okay. Have you seen this Selecto security that when you go in a backpack, they watch you like that? Suspicious. Have you ever entered to a Selectos with a backpack?
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
The security guys will give an eye on you, right? And won't stop seeing you because you're suspicious, right?
Yeah, I know. Okay.
So in English, there is a department, and in North America stores, this is very common. Can you see the picture in the chat?
Okay, let me.
Yes, right?
Oh, yeah.
It says loss prevention. So they're not called security stuff. No, they're called loss prevention. Okay, they're watching you. They're preventing you to thief. So in this case you will have problems with your earrings. So you're losing this earring element out of your body, let's say, in that way. But it's meaning, or you're talking about in this exercise about a illness. What an illness is? Anyone knows this word? All right, Emil, spell it. Anyone know the meaning? Illness?
Like, yeah, like not an injury, but you get it like a disease.
Like a disease, right? That's a synonym. Give me one disease or illness in English, friend. Give me one example of illness in English.
Illness in English.
Yeah, one example. One example, you know.
The name specific, I don't know, but an illness could be when you have problem to see. But I have no a name of a specific illness.
When, for example, you see like when you're not able to see without glasses. Am I taking too personally? Yeah. Nah, just kidding.
No.
Am I getting affected of your examples? Nah, just kidding, right? But yeah, this is one illness, right? Seeing illness, seeing things. We can have several, right, of seeing illness or illness of seeing. But we have flu, right? We have coughing, we have rush, right? All those are examples of disease. So this is another headache, right? Right? Headache must be the symptoms or one illness behind of it. Okay, the next one, number 3. Christy, pick somebody else to be the next one.
Okay, Jennifer.
Okay, Jen, you're next.
The more companies a new artist sends a demo recording to, the better his or her chances are of getting a recording contract.
Recording contract, right?
Yes.
What do you think is the meaning, or what are we talking about when it comes to this example, Jen? What do you think it's the message am I receiving out of this?
Mm,
The more companies
no more
a new
companies
artist sends
anymore.
them a recording to
It's like, if it's like if an artist,
artist,
uh,
artist,
if an artist persists in something, in this case to have a hit of his or her music, the more chances they have if they send it to many companies.
right? Because the person is getting exposed or is getting
Yeah.
recognized by demos,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because the other party says clearly, right, that fewer new musicians will be developed.
Yeah.
Awesome. Pick somebody else, Jen, for the next one. Good on the watch.
Mm,
All right, Fran.
Francis.
All right, Fran. You're the next one. Let's go with number
Okay.
what? 4, right? Yeah. American story.
The more you study the history of American popular music,
Popular music.
the more you realize how much influence African music has had on it.
African music. Have you ever heard any African music? I've never. Probably just reggae, right? But I'm not sure if that's African. I've seen that Jamaican, Bumbleclap,
Um,
but I'm not
but
sure. Uh-huh.
I think because the real some come from Africa, because normally those black people in those islands come from slaves
Mm-hmm.
that
Slavery. Slavery.
slavery, and they had in Africa something like that, because I think the reggae or blues, I don't know if it jazz come from black people,
You know, you're right.
and black people normally come from Africa. No, it's not.
The ethnicity, right, has its roots. You want to sound
And
intermediate, you can say this, Fran. Look, the African American or you want to hear intermediate to advanced English speaker, you say that the Afro-American roots are African or are from Africa, right? Because
American
yeah, but black people, it is not offensive to use that terms, but it's also recommended to use Afro-American.
yeah,
This one
from
is super
American.
professional, right? And nobody will be like impacted or offended by the term. The Afro-Americans.
From America.
Good. So yeah, I'll probably try some African music tonight to go to sleep. That's another example. Great, Frank. Pick somebody else. I think we're kind of ending with the examples. Number 5.
Number 5,
Yes.
Nelson.
All right, Nelson. Let's end up with you. The last
Okay. The less
emphasis. You can say emphasis. The less
emphasis schools place on music.
Let's emphasize the place of music. One more time.
Okay.
Let's
The
emphasize
less
schools place.
emphasize schools place on music.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's difficult. Why?
But we're just missing right? Which one
Yeah.
is it?
I think it's A. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The
fewer
fewer new musician will be developed.
developed. Why do you think
Developed.
that? What do you think that, Nelson?
That's true, because it's like if the less schools in the country, um, there is not the fewer student, good student graduated, I don't know,
or will get educated.
educated. That
Hmm.
is true because in the country we don't have places when someone wants to play or practice her abilities of music. They don't know how can to play or grow out in this topic.
Right, right. You know, in America, it's mandatory to have this subject, a subject, right? Music.
Mm-hmm.
They have music as they have math, as they have science, as they have computing, as they have any other subject. They have music because um, that helps students less stress on the educational. And it's nice, right, to have one group of music. So they have that one. Here in our country, we barely have rooms, right? We barely have schools. So
Barely.
sometimes on private schools, but it's
Mm-hmm.
super difficult to find like a music subject or
Places.
a music
Mm-hmm.
section, right? It's kind of difficult, but we need to work on that, especially part of arts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with the first statement. Listening to, yeah, this is pretty much based on that one. Yeah, it's pretty much like this one, right? They have marching
Uh-huh.
bands, yeah, they have instruments in the schoolroom, and it's pretty. You know, the music is super normal, right? In schools.
Yeah.
All right. Imagine it's 8:45 already. We have
Wow,
been.
fast.
I didn't even feel the time. It was
Yeah.
too nice discussing with you guys that I didn't even feel the time. But I'm glad that we finished another session. Please keep practicing your vocabulary, listening, and we practice the speaking here in this section, right? But let's try some cartoons in English. Let's try some new lyrics so you can learn vocabulary. But most important, if you use TikTok, follow some pages in English. That will help
Yeah.
you. Some catchy topics, right? With even TikToks with artificial intelligence, they are giving the subtitles already in the button of the video. So
Mm-hmm.
much love. Thank you so much, class, for joining today. Please keep on practicing, and I'll see you around in a future class. All right.
See
Many
you.
blessings. Take
Thank you.
care.
Okay,
Thank you.
Keep
thank
on
you,
practicing.
teacher.
Have a great
Bye.
night.
Have a,
See you soon, class. Take care.
see you soon.
Thank you. See you
Bye
soon.
bye.
Bye.